Hey, welcome into the Snap Fantasy Football Podcast. Week 17 is here, and you're clicked on this video because you have a championship to play for. We're proud of you. We're not proud of your commissioner. Tell them to get it right for next season. No Week 17 championships. You got here on the back of some pretty important players, and now you might not be able to use them. So what gives? Why is that fair for you? Let your commissioner know. Get it right for 2021. But Landon and I are here to help you pick up those pieces, to help you get your running back position locked and loaded for that fantasy championship. Lando, what's going on, my man? Who you got this week as a big play at the running back position?
Mac, I'm ready to rock with the running back spot. You're pretty lucky because you probably weren't playing James Conner. You probably weren't playing in the Bills running backs. And CEH is out. And Le'Veon Bell stunk a big one this past week. So you don't need to rely on him. Now we've got some pretty good spots. My number one running back of the week was a guy that I loved last week. That's Jonathan Taylor. He almost won me a championship, Mac, but they didn't play him in the second half. So I guess sucks to suck. But he's going to be in a really good spot against Jacksonville. Should be a really fun game. The Colts need to win, and he is going to be a locked and loaded, no-brainer play. He's my number one this week.
Would you have won a fantasy championship with like 4 more points from Jonathan Taylor?
4 more points.
Too soon. I don't know how you get away from Derrick Henry this week. Playing the Houston Texans. Titans can clinch the AFC South if they get that W. And how do you not go with the Yeti? I know it won't be snowing in Houston, but Derrick Yeti will be doing his thing. Mark my words.
Yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry let people down in Week 16, but I'm not expecting him to slow down at all. He's locked and loaded. We've got some fringe guys like Myles Gaskin that probably won a lot of people Week 16 matchups.
Man.
Him and Jeff Wilson, these guys are locked and loaded this week as top 12 running backs. I love them both. I think they're both in for big weeks. And why not run it back with those two dudes?
Absolutely. Dalvin Cook and Alvin Kamara should be locked and loaded, ready to go for you. The Saints can actually get a bye if they can win and the Packers lose. The Saints will get the number one pick, so I expect them to be competitive against the Carolina Panthers. We might not see 6 touchdowns from Alvin Kamara, but I mean, you never know.
Maybe 7.
Maybe
7.
Maybe he should have been 7. Taysom Hill, you crook. Dalvin Cook against the Lions should be all right. Minnesota has nothing to play for, but hey, Dalvin should do Dalvin things. David Montgomery, where the Bears need to beat the Packers to get into the dance, David Montgomery should be hyper involved. And Nick Chubb, who probably gave you a scare in Week 17, doing virtually nothing for 3 quarters, got it done for you in the 4th. Gave you a respectable week. Does he turn things around with this Cleveland offense that gets Jarvis Landry and all of their other receiving pieces back? Do they turn it around against the Steelers in Week 17, Lando?
I really think they do. The Steelers defense, even when they're fully healthy, doesn't scare me at all.
Not right now.
So I think this is a really good spot for the Browns guys. They have a full team back. It's the offense will run better. Everything will run better. Like I've said, when they have they have more mouths to feed, but they get more first downs. They get more opportunities. Baker feels more comfortable with all of his guys. The timing is on. Austin Hooper won't have 15 targets, but that's not the important part.
The experiment of replacing all of your wide receivers with tight ends just really didn't work.
Didn't work out.
Shocker.
But Mac, 2 guys that we're going to have questions about this week. That's Malcolm Brown and Darrell Williams. Mm-hmm. Are you considering starting either of those guys? Maybe Malcolm Brown?
Yeah, Malcolm Brown is one that you could play. Like if you were doing the James Conner thing and then the Benny Snell thing, I think you just pivot off and you maybe go scoop up Malcolm Brown and play him because Cam Akers is out. He won't play. If the Rams can sneak into the playoffs somehow, some way, then we might see Cam Akers in first round of playoffs. Darrell Henderson went down, twisted that ankle at the goal line last week. He's out. So Malcolm Brown's going to get a full workload here. And yes, it is a John Wolford or Blake Bortles-led Rams. should lend itself to maybe a run-heavy game plan in what looks to be a defensive game script. So, yeah, man, I actually think that Malcolm Brown is a good little scoop and play this week.
Yeah, as for the Kansas City running back, I don't really know. We know that they're not a very good running team as it is. They pass through the air. They might have to with a backup quarterback potentially in, but maybe they now decide that Darrell Williams is their starter and they need to sit Darrell Williams and play Thompson. I don't know. We're not really sure what the strategy for the Chiefs are going to be, but I'm not really.
Darwin Thompson's about to be a thing again.
He might get the workload this week, so that's why I'm scared off of Darrell Williams.
I would be too. David Johnson is still a strong play. He proved me wrong last week. Looked fantastic. Week 15, he did it through the air. He was the best wide receiver for the Texans. Last week, proved everybody wrong again. 128 on the ground. Looked like a running back again. David Johnson continues to impress, continues to surprise in a good way, and I would continue to roll him out if I had a Week 17 championship against a Swiss cheese defense, Titans. Tennessee Titans are bad defensively.
What about A.J. Dillon?
Ooh, okay, let's talk A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones for a moment.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, the Packers need to win this game against the Bears. We've been over that. If they can win, they clinch the bye, which I think is in their best interest. They get to host every single game at Lambeau. Going through Lambeau is good for them. How will they do it, though? Will it be on the back of Aaron Jones? Given that he had that turf toe injury and A.J. Dillon kind of came in relief when he went out. It ended up being like they were both about 100-yard rushers. I think Aaron Jones was like 98 and A.J. Dillon was 124. To me, watching the game as a, Packers fan, A.J. Dillon looks like a more aggressive, more productive running back. Like when contact approaches him, he can fight through. Whereas Aaron Jones has a little bit better vision, a little bit more elusive, but relies on hitting those holes. Whereas A.J. Dillon's just your smash mouth, Jerome Bettis type running back. I could see this being a tandem because I actually think they want to get A.J. Dillon going into the playoffs. So I think both are decent starts against the Bears. But I'm a little bit scared for Aaron Jones owners going into the future as well as into this game.
So maybe a little bit of a fade on Aaron Jones, and A.J. Dillon might be a sneaky flex play if you're desperate. So
if A.J. Dillon is still available on your waiver wire, you got to pick him up and get him in there. He looked fantastic,
If you watch the Jacksonville game, Dare Gumbawale actually looked pretty good, but I'm not interested in playing him versus Indianapolis. Maybe in a desperate play, but if James Robinson sits out again, I guess volume play, it might be okay. But I'm not really going to go against that. James Robinson is going to want to try to play this game. He tried to play last game. It doesn't matter to him that they're out of the playoffs. They've been out for a long time, let me tell you. Yeah. And but I think James Robinson, if he's back active, you start James Robinson.
Leonard Fournette is not a play for me this week. It is a fade. Tampa Bay needs to win this game, but I don't think they'll have a whole lot of resistance doing so. If they do, they get that matchup with the winner of the NFC East, which is going to be an opponent with a losing record, but I wouldn't be playing Leonard Fournette. He hasn't really been good for you unless he gets into the end zone, and I would be going back to the well on guys that we haven't really, been fans of, but have gotten it done, like Ezekiel Elliott. You can certainly play him. And one guy I think has top 10 potential this week is J.K. Dobbins. And going back to that well, he gave you a decent performance in Week 16. The Ravens need to beat the Bengals to get into the playoffs. And the Bengals are going to be putting up that resistance. I think J.K. Dobbins eats, probably in the absence of Mark Ingram again.
If you have specific start-sit questions, drop it in the comments below. We'll answer every single one for Week 17, whether it's flex, whether it's your running back rankings. Let us know. We can help you out. We'll be here all offseason, like Mac mentioned, releasing rookie content all the time. We want to get you ready for any dynasty leagues. If you need commissioner help, we're here to help you out as well. Get rid of these Week 17 matchups. Get them out of here. Let's finish on Week 16. Now we can just relax and watch football in peace.
Good luck this week. Let us know how you did. Stay in tune with the channel. Hit that subscribe button and the bell that notifies you every time we release a new piece of content. And we'll see you later. So have a good one.